Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Just letting y'all know that I took apart my GPS, Naza GPS. Here's the back of it right here. There's the inside. I'm actually installing a saw filter in it. This is what the inside looks under a magnifying glass. I'm actually installing a saw filter right where that little bubble of solder is, in that very second to the right pin. I'm going to have to run a very small wire. Let me see if I can get this right here. Alright, I'm going to have to install my saw filter right here. I have to run a wire to here, to this pin number 11, and I'm going to have to scratch this to make another ground. The reason people do this is because they're having trouble with their 1.3 system. Can't get a lock, and so I'm actually going to do this. The saw filter is more tiny than you can ever imagine. Let's see. This is the packaging it came in. This is just one filter right here. Look how little it is. One filter. You can tell if I zoom out a little. I mean, it's very, very tiny. I don't know if I can get a good picture of this or not. You can see on the filter, yeah, there we go. There's 4 little pins that I need to solder to. I'm only actually going to be using 3 of them. But anyways, I'm going to do this install real fast, and hopefully I don't short anything out and ruin my entire GPS. And I'll post some pictures when it's done. Oh, I went ahead and took all my copper tape off the back of the GPS and put it on the inside, so when I put the screws back in. Anyways, if you do plan on doing this, go to RC Groups, and it's called Pepsi Cola's saw filter mod, and the screw size is a torque number 5, very small. But anyways, let me do this real fast, and I'll post back to what it looks like afterwards. Wish me luck. Alright guys, so the first step was I had to cut the trace between this solder. I used this little knife. I had to cut the trace between this solder blob and pin 11, this one right here, second from the right. Under all this green stuff is copper, so there was a trace from here to here. If you rewind the video, you can see it. So I had to just take this knife and carve it all away. Now I did make a ground also, so it's right here. You can see where I just kind of shaved the green stuff. Whoops, it's kind of hard. Right here, where I just shaved the green stuff off. See, just like that. So I'm going to actually have to reroute one of the wires to the ground to do that. So anyways, that was the first step. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so the next step was to take that saw filter and solder to there we go. Solder to 3 of the 4 sides. Believe it or not, it took me probably 30 minutes to do this, because everything is just so small. That wire looks huge in the video right now, but when I put my finger on it, I hate holding video cameras. When I put my finger on it, it's pretty small. I actually used an old extension cord, cut it, and pulled one strip of wire off here, just one strip, and cut it, and that's what I used. So let me get a magnifying glass picture on this. Anyways, you can tell right there, there's 3 of them. I'm going to put some hot glue over this so the top will stay. But anyways, that was the next step. I mean, it's just so small, but that was the next step in this. Now I need to make sure the wires, you always need to make sure the wires are not too long, so that the signal can travel fairly quickly through the board. So it was hard trying to solder it on here, so I put it on some double-sided tape so it would hold still. Anyways, alright, so now I'm going to make sure the wires are short and try to solder it onto the actual GPS unit. Alright. Alright guys, I am finally back. So I just got done. It's under all this mess of hot glue. Hold on. There we go. I just got done finally completing this saw filter mod. It took me literally about 2.5 hours. Now, when I read at first that it took someone 2 hours, I was like, that's a joke. All you gotta do is solder the crap. I solder stuff every day. It only takes me 10 seconds to solder something. Yeah, it was so small. I almost got everything soldered on the first time, and then one of the pads ripped off of the filter, so I had to start all over. This was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to solder. Actually, it was the hardest thing. It's just so small. I mean, you can tell. Look at my finger and look at the size of. There's a blade. Look at the size of the filters. Wait, I mean, I already showed it to you. Anyways, got it back on. I just went out there and tested it. There we go, on my quad with the video transmitter off, and actually had it just laying right here on my arm, and it really wouldn't lock real well, and I was like, crap, well maybe my connection was bad. But then I put it in my hand and put it right here where like it would be regularly, and it locked fine, all 7 satellites. So then I turned my transmitter on and did the same thing, and it locked again, so it worked, and I'm very excited about that. Now all I have to do is put it back together. There's the screws. I went ahead, like I said, put copper lining on the inside of the back plate. But anyways, if you have any questions, holler at me. Like I said, it took me about 2.5 hours. It sucked. Very, very, very frustrating. I messed up a lot. I mean, you have to have a really good set of steady hands to do this, and a good magnifying glass. So, like I said, I got this from RC Group's forum. The guy that did it originally was called Pepsi Cola. You can find it in the multi-rotor electronics subforum. So hit me up if you have any questions, and I'm glad it worked, and hope everything works good. Alright.